Morning, everybody.
Megan, what are you going over today? Compliance?
Yep, so today we're going to talk about how to submit for compliance in Command and how to fill out the new version of the green sheet.
Okay.
I can't believe it's Friday already. I feel like every day runs together. It's like Groundhog Day.
I had a closing yesterday, so
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
I can pay my bills.
Yay! Heard yesterday that an agent came in to pick up a check. Well, not come in, but came outside to pick up a check. And he said, "Oh yeah, I got 4 new listings." And we're like, "What? That's amazing." Some people, man, they're still busy. Right?
Awesome.
Liking all the Jackson folks. Oh, I love that song. I'm gonna mute you. I'm actually going to go ahead and mute all of you guys. If you need to unmute, at the bottom left of your screen, you can unmute at any time if you have a question, or feel free to use the chat feature as well. I believe we're going to have Ashley on here to manage our chat, so that way, we don't miss any of y'all's questions. Oh, it looks like Ashley is on the wrong one. We'll give it a couple of minutes. It looks like there was some confusion about the link this week, so just sent it to Ashley and she's going to send it out real quick and hop on.
So I emailed you, Megan, about the education calendar. So you're doing it on a weekly basis. So it'll just be the weekly email.
Yes, so we're doing a weekly calendar just because everything, is so uncertain still for May. So yeah, we're gonna do a weekly calendar. So every Friday, you're gonna get the calendar for the following week.
Okay.
That way we're not having to go back and change anything, or I feel like people keep switching on us.
Okay.
I've got a bunch of people blowing me up for the link, of course. All right, getting some more folks on here. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully, Ashley joins us in a few minutes. And Jana, if you don't mind just monitoring the chat until she gets here, that'd be awesome. So today we're going to go over compliance and command, and then also do and then also do the new green sheet if we have time, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Alrighty. So when you're in command and in the opportunity, you have the option to pick a checklist. Okay, so over here it'll say pick checklist type if you have not already picked one. And the options will be residential, vacant land, or commercial. So I'm going to go ahead and select residential. This is what populates your compliance checklist. So if you look in here, you'll see that any of the documents that are required are going to tell you they're required, conditionally required, and then some optional documents as well. Now, if you've got your people, all of your videos with your people on the right-hand side, just go ahead and pick that up and move it to the left because I want to show you what's hidden underneath there. So on the right-hand side, you'll see that you can add a file for each line, okay? Now, this is just a reminder, this is why it's so important for you guys to make sure you start the opportunity and then start the room in Docusign from here. So that's where that start transaction button comes in. You have to do it in that order because of this step here, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, so I'm gonna just hop to Docusign real quick. So I'm gonna click go to Docusign. So this is what's gonna take me to that Docusign room. And sometimes it might ask you to re-log in, no worries, just type in those login credentials. And so here you'll have all of your documents, right? And they're all going to be signed, executed, pretty, all organized, right? So when you're ready to submit for compliance, you're going to be in opportunities. And then there's two ways to add your documents here. You can attach multiple files or add single files at a time. For me, because I have, say 6 files that I want to submit, I'm actually going to do the attach multiple files option, okay? So attach multiple files, and then you'll see 3 options up here. So do you want to pull from manually, so upload from your computer? Do you want to pull from Docusign or a custom folder that you might have, okay? So we're going to say Docusign because that's where all of my signed contracts are. And then I'm just going to go through line by line and click on this drop down. When I click on the drop down, it'll give me the option of all of the documents that are in my Docusign room. Okay, and they're going to be named accordingly. So if you're like, oh, wow, these are all funky and named weird, well, you guys name it. So on you to rename those. So then listing agreement, I'm going to find my listing agreement, put that where the puzzle piece goes. Lockbox addendum, going to go ahead and do that. Lead-based paint. This reminds me of that game like that toddlers play with like, put the shapes in the right holes, so put the star here, square here. That's exactly what this is, right? So then lead-based paint. Going to go ahead and add that one. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to click attach. Second, sorry, slow internet. So it's going to upload them here, and you'll see it on the right-hand side. Then you can click on this button, submit to Market Center, and that's what's going to submit your documents for compliance. Okay. Now I do just want to show you guys what it looks like to add one file at a time. It's not very different. But say you are just adding that HOA disclosure, you could click on add a file, Docusign, and then again, you'd be able to select the file from Docusign, okay? Now,
Megan,
I'm not gonna click on submit to Market Center because don't wanna drive Jen crazy. Gina, did you have a question?
Yeah, we had a question in the box. Kendra Robertson is asking, how do you add a doc that is not a template?
How do you add a document that's not a template? So you're saying, how do you add one that's not on your checklist, right, Kendra? Okay. So that would be add item. So say you have something that for you is best practice that you just want to keep as a record, or say you want to add a note to Jen. So if it's a note to Jen, you can actually add a comment. And just like on Facebook or Instagram, you can actually type at Jen Murray, and then that will send her a note associated with this opportunity. Super cool. Love that feature. Or if it's a document, you would just click on add item, enter a name, a document type, and then again, it can be manually uploaded, Docusign, or from a custom folder. Good question. Now, something else I want to show you guys, and I'm going to move my people again to the right-hand side. So if your people are on the left, go ahead and move them to the right or up or down. Okay, so the checklist, you'll notice here that I'm in the listed section. So these are all of the documents required for listing. Okay, under contract, you'll see that your documents change. So just make sure, you know, if Kendra's like, oh, well, it didn't have a place for this, this, or this, always check to make sure if it's under contract or under the closed option. Because I will say Jen did a good job of adding even some of the optional stuff of just best practice to keep track of. Also, a very frequently asked question. So this is a listing opportunity. So obviously I have the listing checklist, right? On the buyer side, it'll default when you put in your checklist on a consultation step. So there's no documents required. So that would be if you want to keep track of the consultation that you had with them, the questionnaire you had them fill out, anything like that, that's where that would go. But everyone's like, oh, there's no checklist, but then you just got to click the next tab. Okay, so just make sure you're on the right tab there. Now, when you submit for compliance, so that submit to Market Center button, what's going to happen is that's going to get sent to Jen, just like it normally would have in Dotloop, right? And she's going to make sure that you have all of the required documents. And then when she checks that over and she determines what you're missing or if you're good to go, she is actually going to send it back via command. And if you are missing something, it's going to show up by the section that something is missing from. So you're going to have a little note bubble by listed, under contract, or closed, depending on which one you're missing a document from. Now, another frequently asked question, how will we know when it's submitted back to us or when it's returned to us, right? So here's the thing. This is why you have to have Kelly on your phones. Kelly will give you a push notification saying that your documents have been returned. And on your dashboarding command on this notification bell, you'll also receive a notification. Now, email right now is not a thing. They will not send you an email notification. So just keep that in mind that you have to be checking Kelly and you have to be checking command. When you have a transaction, I would just be checking it daily, right? Which technically, if you're doing lead gen every day, you should be in this system every day, okay? Okay, so before I move on to the new green sheet, because really that's it. Once you're done with that, submit for Market Center, you've completed compliance. So before I move on to the next part of this, does anyone have a question about how to submit for compliance? All right, I got off real easy there. Okay.
I actually do have a question if you don't mind.
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't the part about submitting to the Market Center, but if you need to edit a document in here, like once it's already been signed, it's already been Docusigned, but let's say you wanted to change something or anything, how do you go back and edit a document that's been signed? Or can it be re-signed?
So are
Do
you
have to
talking
do a
about
whole new document?
Are you talking about from the Docusign level, or are you talking
Correct.
About, okay.
Yes, from the Docusign level.
Docusign, so that would be something that it kind of depends on the situation, I would assume. You can't go back and then I would assume send the same document for signatures unless it's like a strike through with initials, like for a counter offer or something like
right.
that. But then, so you would do that in Docusign by, I'm assuming, so I don't know if Jana, you know the answer to this, but you would just open that document, do the strike through, add the text box, and then resend for signatures and assign it manually. You wouldn't probably be able to use the pre-tagged roles if you do it that way. Okay. And then that new document, once it's signed, you would just replace this one. So when Jen returns it, or once it's submitted, I should say, there's a little button where it has 3 dots and you click it and it'll say replace, and you can actually then replace it and resubmit for compliance.
Okay, and then thank you. And then my other question is, if you're under contract, okay, if you name the room and then you go back and let's just say that offer didn't go through, so you're gonna submit an offer on a different property, can you just go rename the room and archive the documents for the previous one, or do you need to create a whole new room for the new contract?
Great question. So what's interesting now, because we had that problem with Dotloop because like we'd have to keep renaming it because some people were still doing compliance through Dotloop. because we're doing compliance through this opportunity, I would say the end all be all of how it's named actually needs to be this opportunity, because that's what your MCAs see and that's what compliance will see. So the room is for your records. So if you buyer's name, that's completely fine. This is what the end all be all needs to be. So
as long as you're renaming the opportunity and making it appear as if the other contract never happened type thing, you're just renaming everything, it should be fine.
Correct. So you would
Okay.
just go to details, and then there's a little pencil, and that's where you can edit all of the details of the opportunity, including the opportunity name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Megan,
Yes.
it's Amy. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Amy.
Okay, so my quick question is, and I know the answer is probably yes, can I set up a test run of all of the things that you're teaching us by putting in probably adding a fake client to my contacts list and then starting an opportunity using that fake client?
Absolutely. You can either do a real transaction and just kind of walk through that transaction slowly. So I would suggest one that's kind of still more in that cultivate phase. Or what you can do is do a test one like Amy's talking about. So just make sure in the name you put test, so that way your MCAs and compliance will know it's just a test. Okay. Because even if you don't submit it, it can affect their numbers when they pull projected numbers for the office. So
that
just
is what I was worried about. Okay.
Yep, so just put test, no big deal.
Thank you.
No problem.
Megan, it's Lindsay.
Yes. Hey.
How do you bring over your transactions that you've done in Dotloop and so you have a record of it?
Okay, so good question. There is an import loops feature. So you're welcome to try importing your loops into Command. However, I will caution you, I have not had many agents be successful. In the beginning, it seemed like a few agents were able to complete this, but then more recently, maybe with updates, they've had a harder time. So try that. If not, don't worry about it. If you want to keep your loops for records later, one really great option is to use API Nation, which we actually as an office are looking into as well. Where it backs up all of your loops to a Google Drive account. So you just create a separate .loop backup at gmail.com, something like that. And then you can actually have all of your loops. So from, however long back you have kept them, imported into that Google Drive. And it's $50 a month to do that, but they know that most people just use it to get things over and then you end it. So it's $50 and then you don't have to pay again. And then you have them easy access all in Google Drive. Now, other option, if you only have 10 loops in there, I say download the PDF files and just keep them somewhere on your computer. That's going to be, those two options in my opinion are the safest. Dotloop has said that we will have access to all loops once our contract ends. However, I do not trust that. I am very mistrusting of Dotloop in that sense. So you can bank on that or have a backup ready to go.
Can you type that, the name of the company, the AI Nations or
Thank you.
Sure.
API.
API?
Yep, API Nation.
API Nation, okay.
Megan, I have a quick question. Can you hear me? Okay. So when Jen adds, when she does say for instance, this week, she added Renee and Nancy. Do they automatically receive those, or do I have to reach out to Nancy and Renee?
Are you talking about when you submit for compliance?
Right. And then if, right now it's ready for green sheet, do I have to reach out to them?
No. Nancy, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah, no, if you see that she put us on that as at Nancy, Brandon and at Renee, then we will get notified that it's ready for DA, and there'll be a commission request in there. and we can go in and we'll go in and do that. So no,
Okay.
do not have to notify us.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Are we good to go ahead and move towards the commission's request or final questions?
Can I ask a question, Megan?
Sure.
If I have a contract right now, my listing's under contract, and it's in .loop,
Leave it.
just leave it and continue going through everything. Okay.
Yep. There's no need to do double work, you guys. If it closes before June 30th, just leave it in .loop, finish it out there. Any new transactions starting tomorrow, I would start running this way.
Okay, thank you.
Megan, I have a question. It's Amy. I am on the,
You know, so,
uh-oh, hello?
oh, sorry, did I freeze? Back?
Yeah, you did. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I am on the opportunities page. Somebody had asked the questions, how do I try to import loops using command? And I clicked on the little icon upper right that says import.
Yep.
Then it says import loops, a little box opens and it says import to which pipeline. And I assume I choose my name.
Yep.
Okay, but you're saying that a lot of agents have not had success, and that is why you're suggesting using API Nation, paying a one-time $50 fee, but then discontinuing it once we have backed up all of our .loop loops to the Google Drive.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
That is just my suggestion.
I will do that because I trust if somebody's having problems, I'll probably have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, the import feature
Try it.
is a little wonky, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. We had some very techie people try this and fail. So yeah, you may try at your own risk, but also something to keep in mind. I do not know of a way of exporting the data out of command right now from opportunities. So those of you that, you know, in the future, say leave KW, and, you know, sad, we don't want you to leave KW, obviously. But if that were to ever happen, then you'd be stuck with your information in here as of right now. So just, again, something to keep in mind. To me, it is always safer to have it on your computer or something that is yours totally, like a separate Google Drive, something like that. Just being honest. So, okay. I'm going to go ahead and move forward to that commissions section. So this would be once you have compliance good to go, right? You can actually come over here, or even, you know, while you're doing compliance, to offers. So the offer tab, keep track of all of your offers here, or just that final accepted offer. The point is you have to at least have a final accepted offer in here in order to fill out the commissions tab, okay? So we're going to click on add new offer, and then we can just put this as final offer, create. So here we'll have the version name, offer date, so when that offer came in, and the close date. So I'm going to go ahead and push out the close date a little bit to the end of the month. Parties, so here you'll have to at least have the buyer name, okay? And then obviously the seller information will auto-populate from your opportunity, okay? And then your information as a realtor. And then you have to have the other realtor's name, okay? Okay. So you can also check off if they're pre-approved or pre-qualified if you'd like, okay? Terms. Here's where you put the terms of the contract, okay? So we're going to say 0 cash, they are financing, or we'll say the earnest amount. We'll do, oh, sorry, let me do this first. Okay, cash. Oh, percentage, so 3%, okay? And then option fee, termination option. So buyer will give notice of termination within 15 days. Seller costs, so any closing costs. And then agent analysis. Okay, I'm just gonna be Connie and Lee here for a second. Just remember, this is in writing, so if you have a multiple offer situation, you need to keep that in mind. And if you are representing a buyer, you also need to keep that in mind. So you can put pros and cons. I don't think it's necessary to keep in writing. I would just call them up and talk to them about the offer if you need to, and then click on save. And then here you'll see that you have that offer that you just created. And then again, if you need to move your videos of people's, you can just move them to the left, because then you'll see there's an accept button and a reject button. Okay, there's also 3 dots where you can edit this offer, add a negotiation, add analysis, send and remove offer. Okay, so if you're on the buyer side, you can actually create this and in theory send it over to that seller. Now, one other thing I want to just briefly touch on. So there is going to be an option to do an offer URL. So it says add listing to enable an offer landing page. So I'd have to add the listing from KWLS first. Then I could create an offer URL. So any of you guys that have seen in MLS where it says, please submit all offers here, and it's a link, same idea. So this would create that link for you. People would submit their offers to here, and they would automatically populate in here, which is pretty cool. Again, one thing though, it is not legal unless you have a signed contract. So if they don't send that PDF over to you, there's not a legal contract, right? This is just like if they were to text you an offer, right? Okay, so anyway, once you have your offer that you're going to accept, you would just click on that accept button. And then notice now I can click on commissions. So I'm going to click on commissions. And then this is the new green sheet, okay? So again, if you need to move your people somewhere that doesn't get in the way, I'm gonna move it to the bottom, okay. So here it'll populate the sale price, commission, the contract date. So I'm gonna just say, what's it saying I need to do? Please attach a listing, okay. So I'm gonna do this, and it's asking me to attach a listing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that real quick. Select from listings. I can select from only my listings or all listings, just so you know. If it doesn't show up under your listings, just search for it under all listings. They're definitely still working out some of the glitches in KWLS. I've never had a problem at least finding a listing under all listings, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and select a listing, okay? So then I've got all of this going on. If I need to add a co-broker payment, agent breakdown. It'll also show you how close you are to capping. This person is already capped. So then check amount. And then just so you guys know too, this person is capped. It's saying the total commission is $7,800, but then down here it says the check amount. That's because it'll automatically populate these numbers. Your MCAs will catch this. You have to trust your MCAs. They have a system that they have to pull this through that will catch any errors as far as if you're capped or not. Even if you cap in the middle of a transaction, okay? It will let them know, and then they will correct this, okay? If you need to add an item, here you can choose to add a bonus, a concession, deduction, inside referral, outside referral. As of right now, teams are set up a little wonky on here. So if you guys are having trouble as a team, you need to reach out to your MCA or your agent services to determine how to set up that split, because it's not going to be automatic, okay? So we'll need to, that is on an individual basis that we'll just have you guys reach out to, so team leaders or rainmakers, reach out to your MCAs or to your ASC, and we'll determine how you need to do this, okay? Now, so add item there, and then also on the right-hand side, you're going to have add note. What is one thing, this is I'm waiting for an answer on this one because this is important. What is one thing that is not on here that your MCA needs to know to pay you?
KW cares.
Well, that is right here.
Oh, whoops.
It's okay. Okay.
How much I want?
No.
Oh, okay.
If we have to pay a referral?
Nope, referral you can add. Oh, Jana has raised her hand.
Pay it at the table.
Sorry?
Pay at the table.
There you go.
Yep,
so we don't know where you're closing. If you're going to get paid at the table, we don't know who to send that DA to, right? So you're going to click on add note, and put here the closing office, or excuse me, the title company, and then who we need to send that DA to. If you do not do this, we do not know who to send that DA to. And if we can't hunt you down, you're not getting paid at the table. Okay? So just keep that in mind. You've got to add that note of where you're closing. And then once you're finished with this, which, I mean, there's not much to enter because it populates a lot of the information, you would then just click on submit. And then that gets sent to your MCAs. They get notified, they send the DA over, and you're good to get paid. Okay?
Megan, I have a question again. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I don't have a hand raise option under my reactions.
It's okay.
Can we overwrite, if we're capped, can we overtype the 6% royalty fee, et cetera?
So if you're capped, but you want to pay towards your cap, I'm confused.
No, if we're capped and that thing is populated, or will it populate 0 if we're capped and it knows it?
But
Nancy, did you want to say
well, it's supposed to do real time in the commission. So it should, Megan, and maybe it's not all connected yet, but it should know all of that.
That's what
that
I'm
was
saying.
Part of the problem with the green sheets is it didn't know that.
Right.
But this is supposed to know that.
Okay.
It's supposed to know, but as of right now, it doesn't. But what I want you guys to know is that that's okay, because your MCAs, just like on the green sheet, still have to run it through another program, which will catch it. Okay.
Well, just like we import the green sheet right now, we have to import this into our Winmore system. So it doesn't, Megan, let you take the 6% out of there, correct?
Correct. It does not let you edit this.
Okay, but yes, Amy, just so you and everybody knows, eventually our Winmore system, which is where we enter all of our closings, that's going to get phased out, which is very lengthy because it has all of our associate files and everything in it. So they're working on that process. Right now it's not, I guess, going to be connected, but it will be, and it should be shortly. It shouldn't take them that long to connect that portion, because when we close out your file in Winmore, it is actually going to show in command real time, so, real numbers. So it has some connectivity, but not total connectivity yet. That makes sense.
Well, and you can see here that it's showing that there's 0% needed in order to cap. So it's recognizing this agent as capped. This is just something that they need to still fix. But you guys, it just means that the MCAs will catch it when it goes into the next system. Okay.
But then the DA should show, the DA should show like the full commission, right? Like once it's caught.
Yeah.
So once you get your DA, that's just your confirmation, like, okay, everything went through.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
The DA, because that's one that the MCAs have to generate. So yes, that's when it gets fixed.
And that leads me to a question that I've always wanted to ask. Now that we're so remotely working, can the DA be emailed to us automatically? Or will we have access to it via command?
Via command, not at the moment, unless the MCA were to upload it into the opportunity. So Nancy, do you want to address that one?
Yes, we will be uploading the DA onto command. So if you go into the closed portion of, I think it's in documents, Megan, I don't know if it shows.
Sorry, where am I going?
To the closed, like if you go.
The DA?
There's a place under closed where you upload the settlement statement and survey that has a place for the DA as well.
I haven't explored it, so I'm not sure where to look.
She's trying to show you.
Yeah, so DA, survey, settlement statement.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's over here, Amy, under it's under documents, and then under closed over on the left-hand side, you see where it has listed under contract and closed?
I do.
you click on the closed, it pulls up those 3 items.
Nice. Okay, so that will be there. That's great. That way I don't have to come into the office and infect you with my bad breath.
No.
I have a question, Megan.
Yeah.
On, I think I did it right the other day, but if we do need to pay out a referral, do we do that under the co-broker payment?
Co-broker, so that is going to be, if it's an outside agent,
Yeah.
I would say more accurately, you'd want to do add item and then do outside referral.
Oh, okay. So do it under add item. Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Does that
say
Does that
matter?
make sense?
Does that matter if it's a KW agent or an outside agent?
Freeze. Outside referral is for a non-KW agent, and inside
Okay.
referral is going to be a KW agent.
Well, I
Okay.
need to correct that. Outside referral is for a KW agent if they're not in our office.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Yeah, if they're
Okay.
not in your office.
I will say as well, if you're going to add referrals or anything, use the add item. Do not use the co-broker. That is not for Florida, basically. That's for other market centers throughout the country who do co-broker payments. So don't worry about that button. We have Donnie looking into making sure that that either gets deleted or is removed from the very top so people don't get confused, but that has nothing to do with any of our transactions. So just click the add item button for any referrals or deductions or anything else like that you're paying out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jana. All right. Any other questions? No. Okay. Cool. Just want to also give you guys a side note over where it says timeline in your opportunity. That's going to be like your activity log in Dotloop. So if you ever need to refer back to that for whatever reason to see when you submitted, to see when the commission was submitted, anything like that, you can see that here in your timeline. Okay. All right, cool. So just to recap, today went over compliance and how to get paid. So compliance, this is why it's super important that you start your opportunity first, then your room. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, you can add multiple documents or individual documents line by line to
Megan, you froze.
Hello.
May have lost her.
I see Ashley's picture. She looks
I
so
know,
pretty.
Oh,
Hey, pretty girl.
thank you.
You are.
Jana,
Sorry about that, guys.
Are you there, Megan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you completely froze.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was just wrapping up. But anyway, thanks for coming, guys. Any other last questions?
Why don't I have a hand to be raised? Where's my hand?
It's under the reactions tab.
No, it's not. I only have a thumbs up and a clapping.
Maybe they revoked it, Amy.
That's the best response I've heard all day. Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome, guys. Well, don't forget, we've got the 11 a.m. class with Matt Sutter. And that's going to be a really great class for mistakes that growing agents make. Make sure you tune into that. And then we've got happy hour for each office at 5 o'clock. So hope to see you guys there. And then I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Southside likes to start at 4:30.
Oh, excuse me. You guys starting early on your happy hour. So y'all have fun at 4:30. And then at Jack's Beach, we'll see you at 5.
And Jana and I will be teaching you guys next week. Next Friday, we'll see you guys.
Yep. All right, guys.
Have a great weekend. Thanks, Megan.